All right. Well, hello, everybody. It's Thursday, about 11 o'clock. If you're with us and you're watching, say hello. We have got a very special guest client of ours on this morning. I'm going to be interviewing Sally, and Sally's been with us for quite a number of years now in our group fitness program. She's done so well over that time. I wanted to get her on here. She's got a great story to tell in terms of what she's accomplished with her health and fitness. She's a mum of three, and also has a great backstory in terms of like why she got into fitness. So Sal, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me and taking time out of your day to share your fitness story with us.
Thanks, Dan. Good to be here.
I wanted to start quickly with again, you've been with us quite a few years. You've been in the group fitness program. You've been one of the most consistent core fitters. We're so proud of all the things you've achieved, and we love having you with us. And we know that you're a great community member as well. But tell me a little bit about why you joined in the first place.
Well, I used to go to the gym when my kids were really little, and that was easy because I could pop them into childcare. And anyway, I ended up as a single mum with three kids and was teaching full time. And so the priority of me going to the gym or doing exercise sort of got pushed down in the list of priorities. And so I felt I was gradually becoming unfitter, and I'd heard about CoreFit because Fiona, who's a good friend of mine, was going, and she invited me to come to like a buddy session or a buddy week. And so not long before that, my dad had a major heart attack, and we easily could have lost him. And that really shook me up and made me think that I had put my own health and fitness to the side, and felt that I wasn't in a good place physically or emotionally, and also felt like I wanted to meet new people, make new friends, and wasn't sure where I could go to do that. And so when Fiona invited me, I thought, this is it. I've got to do this. I've got to try this, and went along and absolutely loved it. Dan, you were actually the trainer that morning. I thought I was going to die. I really did. Especially, that's when we were at the Oval and you said, now finish off with a lap around the Oval, or maybe that was the warm-up or something. I was like, no, like, but I loved it. I loved the people. I loved the vibe. I loved the encouragement that you and Ali gave. And like, I was sold. I signed up, I think, for 12 months. And so that I would do it, and haven't looked back, other than a little time off after some knee surgery. But
yeah, well, you've had some setbacks, obviously, with your knee surgery and all those things as well. So we're so glad you did sign on, and you've been such an amazing client. You've done so well. Tell me about some of the things you reckon you're proudest about what you've achieved so far. What are some of the results you've noticed in yourself?
I'm mostly proud that I set the alarm and get out of bed. Yeah. A couple of mornings a week and get there, because I am not a morning person. I never have been. It's not easy when the alarm goes off, but I love that I can just have the willpower to just go get up, get changed. And once I'm there, I'm so glad that I am, and I love it. So for me, that's actually a really big achievement. Some of the challenges that we've done along the line in the last 7 years, I've loved doing that. Anything that involves supporting others in the community. I love that you and Ali have always been committed to us as a group looking beyond ourselves and how we can support others. And so even things like the Buddy Week, having the chance to bring people along, but the community things that you've done, raising money for Camp Quality and for different organisations. I did the push-up challenge one year and the burpee challenge, which, I mean, honestly, that...
Tell me what you did then. Remind us what you did, because that was nuts. And
I can't remember. It was just some crazy number of burpees.
But I remember. It was 150. You had to get 150 within a certain time.
Yeah, okay, right.
That's what your friends had sponsored you for, remember?
Yes,
and,
yes.
And they were all back. Oh, man, I was like brutal. But well, somehow you got it done. It was amazing. You did so well.
Yeah. But I love those things. I love that... that we can be a community and have fun, but also look to how we can make a difference to others too. So I'm proud that I've been involved in those things. And I guess I'm proud that I've just made it part of my life. It's just part of my lifestyle now that that I come to CoreFit, but it's more than that because it's the friendships that I've made along the line. I've got these fabulous friends now and keep making more as people join in. So I just feel like I've got this big group of people who've got my back, you know, and especially you and Ali and now Carly and Blake, you know, and I know that I can contact you anytime and you'll be there to support me. And that's a really important thing for people in life, to know that there's people who've got their back and want the best for you. And yeah, it makes a really big difference to my well-being. I love that exercise and fitness and just feeling like I'm in good health makes a really big difference to my mental health. And, you know, like a lot of people, I can struggle at times, and circumstances of life can bring you down, but that makes a big difference. I know when I had to stop after my surgery, I really felt that. I really missed that as far as my well-being, knowing that that was coming back though, and got back when I could. And yeah, it's really, really important. I mean, I can't imagine life without having that aspect. It's really important.
Oh, that's so great to hear. And I remember, well, you're obviously a teacher and you're teaching full-time now, not full-time, but a lot of the clients we have here are teachers or nurses or, you know, business owners, or they're generally a lot of people who give to their profession is giving. Tell me a bit about how, like, you know, I know from mates and family and whatever, like teaching can be, it's an emotionally draining job. How is it, like, did you find that doing exercise or just looking after yourself in that respect would help you to deal with those things? I just wanted to understand that, because I think, yeah, even with people with stressful jobs or jobs where you got to give a lot of your time and energy and effort and all that stuff, I think that can be a real benefit when you can put some time aside to you. But what did you think? Did you was it a stress relief thing as well, or did you find that benefit? Or when you said the mental aspect, what did you mean by that, Sal?
Well, I know that there's a scientific link between exercise and well-being, mental health, and definitely is for me. Yes, teaching is a super stressful job, super rewarding and wonderful, but super stressful. And I think for me to start the day that way made a really big difference, to get out of bed and to get there and know that I had done that and to start the day in a positive way. It's also a great role model to kids, because the kids I taught would always ask, oh, did you go to boot camp? And what did you do at boot camp? And I'd show them things and I'd make them do, you know, push-ups and burpees and things. And,
Awesome.
and they loved it. So it was really important to me to be a good example to the kids that I was teaching as well. And yeah, but definitely gave me more energy, which sometimes sounds counterintuitive, that you get up earlier than you normally would, you'd be exercising, but I would feel really good that day after doing it, and I'd have more energy, and yeah, it just lifted my spirits and set me up for the day. So it does make a big difference. And you're right, when you're giving all the time in your job and then in your family, so after going home from a full day of teaching and then going home to 3 kids on my own, where you continue to have to give out and find more energy at the end of the day, that to know that I'd done that for myself and not for anyone else, it's just for me, was really important. And I wish that I realised that should have been a priority earlier than I did. But and I guess that would be my encouragement to other parents, that, you know, when you're working and raising kids and so many other things that take up your time and your energy, just setting aside that little bit of time for yourself is super important, because it can kind of underpin everything else and make you a better person.
Well, that's great advice. And you've just answered the last question I was going to ask you was like, what is your advice for someone else like a Sally who was, you know, a couple of years back, for example, versus Sally now? But you've just answered that question. I think it's great. And I think you're, you know, I know other clients look up to you in terms of, what you set, the example you set, and you're such a lovely person, and you're such a great advocate for health, I think, in terms of the great long-term approach. I know you're in this for the longevity of your health, which is, I think, a really admirable thing. And I hope that if you're out there watching this video, or whether you're here live or on replay, that, you listen to what Sally's saying, because she's a great example of like, this thing isn't just like a all or nothing thing. It's just about pacing yourself through, looking after yourself. And the fact, like you said, the fact that you get up in the morning when you're not an early morning person, like that's a huge deal. That's a huge thing. Being consistent is huge. That's a result in itself. So, yeah, man, I'm so stoked that you've got on and shared the story, and really, really happy for you in terms of where you're at, in terms of, your health and fitness. You're in a really positive position. I think mentally as much as physically, to be able to have that relationship with your health and have that ability to be able to be okay with you putting yourself first a couple of days a week or whatever you need to do. I think that's great. So,
and not making your weight the number one thing. I think for me too, that, I mean, I will admit that I struggle with that, and I get on the scales and I go, come on. But to me, if you're fit and you're healthy, and I know as a woman of a certain age where your hormones are doing the roller coaster, and your weight can sometimes do the roller coaster with that, and you're on that journey. But if you just hold on to the idea that as long as I'm consistent and I keep going and I keep exercising and thinking about what I'm eating in moderation, then, you can ride those roller coasters a little easier.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree with you. That's great end point to this interview. And I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Sal. Well, thank you for joining us, guys, out there. Thank you. Sorry, I haven't seen any comments. So if you are commenting, I'll get back to them. But thank you, Sally. Thank you so much for being honest and sharing your story. I know it's not always easy, but I appreciate it. And you got a great story to tell. And again, we're so proud of what you've been able to achieve over the last few years. And we love seeing you each session and pushing you. And we'll continue to see if we can get you stronger and fitter and keep improving. And but other than that, thanks so much, guys, for joining us. And we will part ways with you. You have a great Thursday. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Dan.